So, hello, I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, be a book business boss, as well as for the Kingdom Ministries, helping you be the best of all that you can be and the best of all that you can be to live your best life. That's my whole goal for bringing you this motivation. So, you remember before there was mandatory car seats and the children had to be in the back seat in car seats, and they didn't advise you to be up front. um, if anything happened and your mother had to stop short, or somebody or a car or a dog or a ball darted out in front of you, they put out their arm to protect you and to keep you safe. When I was engaged to Brian Royston, he would do the same thing. If he had to stop short or there was something going on, and he had to stop short and break really, he would put his arm out and he would say, I have to guard my precious cargo. And so that I was flying on an airplane as we were coming in, making our final descent in, I started seeing these cargo ships. And I realized that moving cargo and moving just a regular plain first class envelope is different. It takes different, um, it takes a different kind of team, takes a different kind of processing, takes different kind of methods. It's totally different than if it's just a letter. You could just put a stamp on it and put it in the blue box on the corner or in your neighborhood. Because so I'm asking you, it's your question. Precious cargo, what do you carry? Second Corinthians 4:7, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. Can you believe he entrusted us with his glory and a part of his glory and his spirit down on the inside? You got to remember what you're carrying. And you got to understand that what's going on down on the inside of you and what it's designed to do and what it's meant to do and what you can accomplish with that that's down on the inside. You got to let it. Fortunately, God is a gentleman. So he is going to lead and guide you and prompt you and unction you, but he's not going to drive you and he's not going to make you. And his spirit won't strive with man always. But he's imparted, if you let him in, he's imparted this treasure, that heavenly treasure, down in these earthen vessels, clay, formed from the dust of the ground. That's the way Adam was formed, from the dust of the ground. And believe you me, I don't have to get that graphic, and we're all adults here. But every time you take a shower, some of that dust and some of that dirt that you've gotten on you goes down into the sink. Right there. But we have it in earthen vessels. But the precious cargo, number one, it moves different. When you look at a cargo ship, it's totally different than even a truck that UPS that takes boxes and packages. You're moving cargo. You're moving actually containers. You're actually moving vehicles inside those containers. When I looked up the freight calculator, it says, is it a full truck? Is it a half truck? Is it partial truck? How much does it weigh? How far are you wanting it to go? And when I've traveled, and I do a lot of traveling. If you follow me, I travel to a lot of cities around the country. But when you get to those port cities, you actually see a lot of those cargo ships and a cargo transporting the stacks of cargo containers that are stacked up. The ports, especially in Mobile, especially in Virginia Beach, especially here in the Florida, Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and those, they are designed because they are on the water to move cargo, major cargo overseas, literally around the world. And you think, why can't you just put it in the air? Air costs more. It moves differently. It may take more time to get there. Because remember back in COVID, and they had all those, that cargo was out at sea, and because we had to process it, we didn't know if it had COVID on it, more COVID on it, different COVID. Oh, child, we got all kinds of version of COVID. Get down into that. But because cargo moves differently, that's the reason why logistics and transport of certain packages was moving differently because the bigger, larger containers was totally moving differently. And the larger equipment and things we needed in bulk, even if it was clothes and they make them overseas and they ship them on cargo rather than air because it's different. The pricing moves, the price per piece, price per pound is totally different. You need to know exactly what's in those boxes. And, it's just a lot different because cargo moves differently than a regular envelope. You should move differently than anybody else on the street. With that treasure in you, down inside of you, it makes you move different. And most people maybe not understand it. You can't always explain it. In my home churches, I cannot explain it, but I got it. I got it. I got it. I can't, something about that Holy Ghost I can't explain, but I got it. And a lot of it we can't explain. It's a faith walk. We walk by faith, not by sight. We can't necessarily always understand it, but we know we have it. And we're thankful that we have it because it helps us to move differently. It helps us to move differently on how we would move normally with anything else. And then number two, cargo moves differently and how, as I say, Mr. Royston helped me in the car and opened the door. He still does all that. 18 years later, he still does all that. Ooh, wait a minute, hold on. He puts his arm out. If somebody darts in front of the car, stops short. He said, "You're my precious cargo." So cargo, it moves differently, especially when you think it's precious. You think it has a value, and especially when it costs you something. And then number two, the cost. The cost of cargo is different, how much it costs, how much it weighs, how much it costs per pound that you're shipping. But more importantly, spiritually, if you really value what's on the inside, it costs you something. It costs you a no. And sometimes it costs you a yes. To say yes to one thing and no to something else. No to being someplace and yes to being somewhere else. Yes to having company with certain people and saying no to other people. It has nothing to do with sin or anything. But there's a cost because you're precious cargo. You're carrying something wonderful down in the inside, and it costs you something. It costs you something to be saved. It's going to cost you a lot to say no to what even you want, to even what you think you're supposed to have, even that thing you work for. And you eventually have to say no. And then number three, the care and the courage. If you understand that you're really precious cargo, you care for yourself. And the courage you have to move forward, you're very strategic in it. You have courage because you have God's power and spirit and inside, and you take different care of yourself. You just move with care. So I remember when my youngest sister, I have two sisters, and they have one child apiece, one daughter apiece. And my youngest sister was pregnant first, and then my middle sister. And we were at probably a church district meeting, and she was, oh, I don't know, I think she was in her third trimester of pregnant. And I think she was like assistant secretary of this organization, the youth organization. And so she went, even though she was, further along in her pregnancy. And so we were in the room together. We stayed in the hotel room together, and I showered first. And when I showered first, I realized that the tub was very slick. I'm not even gonna go into it. It was back in the day when we just needed a bed to stay in that we could afford. We weren't real particular back then. And when that happened to me, and I almost slipped in the tub, I knew then. Wait a minute, wait. My sister is carrying my niece in her body. She's pregnant. We don't want anything to happen to that precious cargo, that baby that is not born yet. We don't want anything to happen to my sister or my niece that she was carrying. So I took, after I dried off with the towel, put the towel at the bottom of the tub. And I told my sister, I said, okay, now the tub is slick. listen, girl, it's slick in this tub. I don't want nothing to do that much. Okay, I'll be the one in the doghouse. Your husband and my mama and everybody were like, "Why you?" Okay, so not only did I put the towel in the bottom of the tub, but I waited while she showered and helped her in the tub and helped out of the tub. Why? We needed extra one, it was my sister, but two, we needed extra care. Four, she was carrying precious cargo. Now, of course, my nieces are they run into a 30, so we fine. The cargo was fine. My sister is fine because we took the extra care necessary to make sure. I didn't get out of the tub and say, well, go for it, and knew it was slippery, knew it was not safe for someone in the third trimester to be getting in and out of a tub by themselves and knowing what the state she was in. So, there's a care that goes along with it. And then you need that kind of courage to take that extra care and not just pass it off as just any other day, any other package. Because, sometimes even when you go to the post office, I know I'm still talking about precious cargo, but sometimes when you go to the post office, what do? Yeah, they need to sign for it. No, we need to send this certified and they need to sign for it. And then I need a return receipt. That's how precious this message is. That's how precious this package is. It's not going on a cargo boat. It's not going on a cargo ship to India or headed to Africa, but I won't care put on. And I'm going to put the extra cost that's necessary so that it arrives safely. And then I know it arrived. And I got my receipt in my hand, that little green card that comes back to you that says, yes, we got it. And yes, we have it. And it will certify it. And in a court of law, if necessary, that you got it. You can pretend you didn't get it, but here, I got my receipt. Precious cargo, it costs you something. It moves differently. You take care and courage. And then one more. Well, I got two more, but here we go. The community where it hangs out, where you have it, where you have that precious car, where you put yourself. It's not necessarily to say that you're better than someone else, but you know what you can handle. With that precious cargo down on the inside, what are you carrying? That's what we're talking about. Whatever you're carrying, can it be in every community? No, it can't. And it has nothing to do with them. Sometimes it's not them. Sometimes, like the guy breaking up with you, it's not you, it's me. Heard that name. But it's not you, it's me. Julia, it's not you, it's me. Because they couldn't either, now that I look back on it and I realize, okay, you wasn't the one for me anyway. But you couldn't handle what I'm carrying. Ooh, there's no way you could be in this spot. This spot was designed for somebody, a specific community for it to be in. Now, other communities are like, sorry, it is what God had me doing, what He's got for me, what He has put in down inside of me is in a specific place, in a specific time, with a specific people. Yeah. So you got precious cargo. Where should your cargo be occupying? What space should it be in? I've written a book, and I've written a lot of them, but The Gifted, and that Gifted series, I have an adult edition and the teen edition. And shameless plug, you can buy it at juliaroystonstore.com. But one of the things that I really talk about your gift is how it's encased, who's around it, and that indicates your community. Where do you hang? Where is your gift hanging out? Where can it be associated at the time? And as I get older, I get even more. That circle gets real small. That community gets real tight. That group that you hang out with, the places where you need to be, the places where you don't need to be. Some places I don't need to be, but my brand does, so I send other people. But where that so that doesn't mean that the community is bad. It's just that means I'm not meant to be there personally. I can't be in two places at one time. Only God is omnipresent. So therefore I can't be there, but I can send somebody else. Okay. And then finally, the compensation is different. When you understand there's precious cargo, there is, my business coach says, you know your worth. So you handle it different. You behave differently. That business, you charge different. Um, People are always going to be trying to get over on you, but that compensation is different. And I'm not really even so much talking about in business, of course, we need to be profitable when we're talking about money. But some of that compensation says the pay that you're willing to pay and the compensation you're willing to be paid. And is that worth it? And all money is not good money. And you think, well, what do you mean? It's not. Because some things, the price is too high. And I could afford the amount, but there are other things that are attached to it that are way more than the money is. The reputation, just all of that is attached to it. The attaching that brand to that brand and that situation, and I was there and you were there and we was all in the same place. We've seen a high price for that, way more than the price of the ticket, way more than the price of the plane ticket, the hotel room, the vending event, the compensation, the what it cost you is too high. And then what you had to pay more than the entry fee, it cost you way more. The cost of it is you could afford it. It's not that it's not out of your reach, but the compensation of what you're going to get in return and what it will cost you, too much. No, that's all right. The cost of my energy, the cost of my effort, the cost of my brand, my name, my reputation, all of that is too high. Can't pay it. I can't do it. So, precious cargo, what you're carrying. Remember, cargo moves different. There's a cost to it, and you gotta care for it. And it's gonna take some courage because people will talk about you. They always will. They always have. They always will. And who you hanging out with, and then the compensation. Would you the return on your investment? Is it going to cost you way more than you had to pay? And sometimes it's the price is too high. Maybe not the admitting fee, not the but that compensation. Mm-mm. What you gonna get back? What are they gonna pay you in return? Too high, too expensive, mm-mm. Too detrimental, too harmful, too painful. Now that's all right. I can make money somewhere else. I can get a client somewhere else doing something else, create something else. God will give me a way to create something else. I don't I don't need that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's hard. But I realized I have precious cargo down inside, and I know what I'm carrying because I want to live my best life coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk 24/7. Be sure and download the app, go to the website. The latest magazine is there. Also, there is a devotional available for sale there too, as well. Just check it out. That's where all the programs and the music and the announcements and commercials and opportunities are shared. So visit, download, access, and be empowered and inspired. And then coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Spike Davis and Friends show. Tune in for Last Music and more. Then on Tuesdays, the Book Business Boss show. Yeah, we're holding it down with promotion, book launches, events, all that good stuff. We'll be talking even more uh, next season in regards to the book business. It is a business. It is a business. And to be a book business boss, go to Be a Book Business Boss and download the free ebook from author to entrepreneur. From author to entrepreneur, enjoy. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me at talkwithroyston.com. That's talkwithroyston.com. Also, Birmingham, Alabama, you can purchase BK Royston Publishing books at Spirit Filled Christian Bookstore, 1400 3rd Avenue West in Birmingham, Alabama, or head on over to Greensboro, North Carolina, Next Chapter Bookstore Gift Shop inside Ben's Boys, located at 2711 Grandview Avenue in Greensboro, North Carolina, the home of the North Carolina A&T Aggies, and some delicious food. Hey, and then if you're in the Indianapolis area, Media Link Reading Room, 5860 Michigan Road in Indianapolis, Indiana. Head on down south, straight down 65 to the end at Mobile Booksellers, 3990 Government Boulevard in Mobile, Alabama. Then head on up, back up 65 to Louisville, Kentucky, and Brew and Sip Coffee Bar, both locations, 505 West Broadway and 2860 Packer Lane Way in Louisville, or Ginami Books and More, located at 636 South 18th Street, Louisville, Kentucky. Follow them on social media as well, because they have our books on the road with them as they're vending. I'm headed east and they're going west, and I'm headed south and they're going north. So BK Royston Publishing books are being held at these bookstores and outlets, and I'm extremely proud and honored, and there's more to come. You all be blessed in everything you do. I'm Dr. Julia Royston, BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting for the Kingdom Ministries, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, be a book business boss, and live your best life. Have a great day.